Pros and cons of digital nomad lifestyle. Welcome in, much love, Trav here. Let's throw this in airplane mode to make sure there's no interruption. This video we're going to be talking about lifestyle of being a digital nomad, which has some really nice pros to it and it has some very serious cons. So this is a careful what you wish for type scenario for those who are interested in it. And for those of you who just want to see what another possible life could look like. So what is digital nomad? Digital nomad is, okay, you work online, so you're digital, and you're nomad, so you can travel anywhere, right? So the idea is you have an online business that you spend some time on, maybe it's not full-time, but it's enough to live, you don't have to have a job, and it lets you kind of travel around and explore and where you want. So let's start off with the pros, and then we'll move into the cons, and then we'll talk about kind of how to make the most of it if you do it. But again, it's not for everyone. So I would say the biggest pro is the freedom to travel and explore, right? The nomad implies that you're moving around. So you get to, in this situation, you get to kind of go where you want and do what you want and see what you want. You go to Asia, you go to Europe, you go to South America, you travel around the States, you can go on an epic road trip, you can see a lot of different things and have a lot of freedom and have the ability to meet a lot of people. That's great, right? And it will also, we'll do a couple things. It lets you go on adventures if you're an adventure seeker, not just travel, but travel for adventure. Do some crazy shit, and you get the feeling of when you're in your 20s or 30s or whatever, 40s, however old you are when you're doing it. You get all this freedom while a lot of your friends are stuck behind desks and cubicles and stuff like that. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of do your own thing and go out and see the world. Another thing is it gives you free time generally. If you're efficient, you automate certain things. You're probably not working like 9 to 5 if you're doing this. It gives you time to work on other skills. It gives you time to read more. It gives you time to get ahead on other things. It gives you time to work out more. It gives you time to explore other lifestyles. So we're going to get back to this because I'm going to go into the cons, but to me, digital nomad lifestyle is an interim thing where it gives you the opportunity to search for a better life, whereas other people who are stuck wouldn't ever be able to find it. But the actual search, the actual journey, the actual travel has some cons and gets old. So let's go with the cons and the problems. Problem with digital nomad lifestyle is it tends towards being more isolated because if you're working online, you don't have coworkers. That cuts out a big part of your social life and you're spending time alone. If you're nomadic as well, then you're going to new places, you're not seeing the same friends, you're not as consistent in your relationships. That tends towards isolation as well. So it tends towards isolation, more so. Isolation can be really deadly, it's really bad for you, it feels awful. It can get lonely and depressed out there doing your own thing. There's certain fixes for it. Certain fixes being you travel with a friend or go search out like-minded people. But just the way the brain works is your brain hates leaving everything and starting over again and again. So even if you're on adventure, you're traveling, you're doing all this cool stuff, you'll get sad and lonely and depressed at a point and be like, this fucking sucks, right? And if you didn't find something better, you're going to be unhappy because what can you do now? You go back to work a job or you keep doing this. It sucks, right? So, and that's just the way the brain works, that's to me is the con, is just tends towards, being online too much and then being in a place where you don't necessarily know good friends and stuff like that. So here's how I recommend using it. As you're traveling around, if you do it, as you're traveling around, the mission should be to find a better life so that you can exit the digital nomad and go do that instead, right? So for me, I've been doing the digital thing kind of on and off since 2013, about 4 years of it. At times it's been very lonely, but it's let me travel Europe, it's let me travel the States, it's let me travel a bit of Asia and Hawaii, a little bit of Latin America. And all the while I was searching for what's a better life. I didn't feel that my life is necessarily better than my friends who have their stable jobs because they have their stable relationships. And you often give that up with digital nomad. You don't have to. You can find a partner who's doing the same thing. That's pretty rare though. It's possible, but it's rare. It's much less rare to have a committed, stable relationship when you're in one place, right? So as I'm doing this, I'm looking for a better place to live. You know, I don't know much. At first I go to Europe. Hey, maybe I would want to live in Europe. I've got a friend, American expat out there. So kind of travel around, look at different spots, look at the culture, see what I can learn. Find out, hey, maybe wouldn't want to live there. You know, the digital nomad can head down to California and check some stuff out, and so maybe get into organic produce farming, and okay, this is getting closer, and travel out to Japan. No, wouldn't want to live here, this lifestyle. Finally take me to Hawaii and digital nomad my way over to a really cool organic farm, nonprofit, and a couple communities out here, and be like, you know what? This is better. This is a better lifestyle. This is a better life. This is better than what would have happened if I had stayed in Seattle working an office job. I never would have found this. This is also better than digital nomading. I'm sick of that for the problems listed. But digital nomading was a bridge. It was a gateway to get me here, right? It was my in. It was my mission. It was my vehicle to find a better life, right? So, you know, the bottom line is careful what you optimize for, right? When you're trying to optimize for having a good life or optimize for having good relationships, optimizing for enjoying your time, you should not optimize for working online and traveling to new places. That gets old, right? In the short time period, sure. So the digital nomad thing, don't optimize for that unless you're using it as a gateway, as a tool to allow you to go and look for something better, which you can, you know. If you're gonna be a digital nomad, make it a mission not just to go see cool sites, not just to go out and meet people, but to go explore other possible careers and explore other possible communities, explore other possible living situations, other possible cultures where you would want to settle down more and get offline, okay? So, hope you find that helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would like to hear from you. I appreciate you. Much love, and let me know what you think, especially if you're a digital nomad or if you're thinking about it, how you make use of it, how you make best use of it, what your plan is, and so on and so forth. So peace out, much love, and